Good morning. Come on in. Look, I may have to dust a little, but don't worry about that. Don't pay that no mind. Look, I got a different setting today. I had a different setting today. I just wanted to come talk to you all. I just got through working out. Look, I'm trying to stay in shape, okay? You know, the older you get, the more you realize that you only get one body, you know? You realize that you only get one body and you tend to want to preserve it. I'm not trying to preserve youth, you know what I'm saying? I want to preserve my health. I want to make sure I'm healthy in my old age, you know, because I'm going to live a long time. So I want to make sure that I'm healthy. I want to make sure that I'm fit and living well, energetic, and putting, you know, good things into my body, you know, breaking bad habits and um, just getting out of habits that don't serve me, you know. But listen, good morning. I will be here with you shortly because I'm going to church today. Okay, I'm getting out of here today and going to church. I just got through doing my morning workout. I'm excited, and I was thinking about something when I was working out. You know, my mind is always going. Um, my mind is always going. And this morning I got up. I did my little devotion. Okay, I'm back on track and everything. Hey, Matt, that's okay, dear. No, that's okay. Look, I understand. I don't take it personal at all. Look, we all got things going on. Okay? But listen, I got up, I did my devotion, and I'm reading this book by, it's called Big Leap by, I want to say Gay Hendricks. That's his name, Gay Hendricks. And there are some things in there that I'm really excited about reading, right? He got something called the Your Zone of Genius, and I'm just excited about reading that, right? I'm in the house, that's why I'm talking a little low, you know, my kids are asleep. So there is something called Your Zone of Genius, and I can't wait to dive into, you know, what he has to say about that, right? But I just want to come talk to you about um, you all about good-hearted people, pure-hearted people, right? There's something about pure-hearted people and good-hearted people that a lot of people don't know about, right? A lot of people don't know that a pure-hearted and a genuine-hearted person, they are human, right? They people sometimes people dismiss um, the genuineness of a person that has a good and pure heart and that is considerate and that tries to be understanding, right? Sometimes people take these folks kind of people for granted, right? They tend to dismiss the goodness of these people. They tend to trample all over these people's loyalty, right? And what I want to come talk to you all about is that good-hearted people, we get tired too. We get tired of being a doormat. We get tired of being understanding. We get tired of being people pleaser. We get tired of trying to understand and, you know, give people the benefit of the doubt. We get tired too, right? And I want you all to know that when these people get to the point, I call it a threshold. Um, I don't understand it. I know I'm this way. I don't understand it. But when I get to a certain threshold, there is no returning from that threshold, right? Once a person cross and betray you in such a way, right after you've given them chance and chance, and after you try to talk to them, and you know, after you try to be understanding, be patient, be considerate, pray, fast, you know, you did all those things, and that you see people still continue into their energy and their behaviors towards you, when you get to that threshold, that's the threshold of no return. And what I mean is, it's not that you don't forgive the people, right? It's not that you don't forgive them, but what it is that that relationship will never be the same. That relationship will never be the same. And a lot of people don't understand why they are that way. But I'm here to tell you, right? The chosen ones, I'm here to tell you the reason you're that way because you're pure hearted and you are genuine. You are a genuine person. You are a pure hearted soul. And when I say pure hearted, you don't have intentions to destroy people. You don't go out of your way to slander folks. You don't go out of your way to mistreat people, right? Somebody has to really be doing things to you for you to even consider anything harmful. It's just in your nature. I know I'm like that. Like, I just don't have the intentions of just, okay, let me wake up today and just be evil and vindictive and gossip and mistreat people, right? That's not what I do. But when you are a pure soul, you tend to have more consideration, and you tend to be more understanding and more patient with people, right? You tend to be understanding, you tend to be patient, and you tend to have a lot of I call it long suffering. Is one of the fruits of the spirit. When you can suffer long with people, you have that, right? But once you get past a certain threshold, it's like once you cross over, there's like a crossing over. I can't explain it, but if you all understand what I'm saying without really saying what I'm trying to say, somebody tell me if you know what I'm talking about. It's almost like you will suffer long with someone, but once you get past a certain crossing, right? Once they cross a certain line, there's no returning. There's no returning from that, right? There is no returning from that. And people may not understand why that relationship, exactly Styles from Within Ministry, people may not understand why that relationship would never be the same, right? I don't care if it's family, it could be your children, spouse, siblings, co-workers. Like, once they cross a certain threshold with you, that relationship could never go back to the same how they want it to be. Regardless if you have forgiven a person, you have talked through things, you have, considered what may have happened, what could have happened, what did happen. You know that relationship will never go back the same, because the person has done so much harm to you, right? They've hurt you in a way that is impossible to forget, although you may forgive, but they've hurt you so much until you had to do a lot of deep healing, a lot of deep soul searching, right? To get yourself in a place to forgive them, to get yourself in a place of being healthy and in your right mind, and trying to understand, what did you do to these people to try to destroy you? And you realize you didn't do anything. And then to come to terms that you didn't do anything to a person to want to destroy and hurt you, regardless of the situation, right? Regardless of the situation, you realize that those people can't be trusted. You're welcome, Roxanne. You realize that those people can never be trusted, because you want to always think in the back of your head, the only thing I was trying to do to you is help you, love you, elevate you, get you to the next area. And then you turn around and betray me in the worst way. You turn around and slander me in the worst way. Do things to me in the worst way, right? Trying to keep my little plaque from sticking out. But once you get to that point, there's like a threshold of no return. And sometimes people are going to think that you're cold-hearted, but they're never going to consider, right? They're never going to think about the pain that they've caused you. They're never going to think about the things that they've done, right? It's always about you. They're never going to look back on what the possibilities. One thing about a good-hearted person, and I know I'm like this, I look at every option, right? I consider every option. If I've hurt somebody, if I said something to someone, I'm the first to apologize or to make it right, because I know that's what I would want somebody to do to me, for me. I'll look at myself to see what I did, to see what I said, to see where I went wrong, and I'll try to make it right with those people, right? Because, we're not perfect. We are definitely not perfect. I'm trying to get me a good lighting here, but I'm going to ignore that. I can't worry about that right now. But I'm always considering what I've done, right? And sometimes people don't count the cost, right? They don't count the cost when they mishandle a good-hearted person, because we're not going to always be sitting in the corner, in the corner waiting for you to get right and come to your senses, for you to finally see that the person is a good person or that you are a good person. We're not going to always be there, right? And the thing that hurts these people is realizing that once you're gone and once you're no longer available, or you no longer want to give your energy, because it takes a lot of energy. People don't understand. It takes a lot out of a good-hearted person to always be there, showing up, supporting, encouraging. And the people you're encouraging, they don't pour back into you. Have you ever noticed that? When you have a genuine heart, you always pouring into people and you're giving all of you. You're considering and thinking about them and their next, like you consider so much. And when the person has a good heart, we think about not only the future, we think about now, but we also think about the future. We also think about possibilities of how to make their life better in the future. We're not just thinking about now. We're thinking about them after we die. We're thinking about, like, people, we just consider everything. And people don't understand. That's why it weighs so much on a good-hearted person. We consider everything. We consider everything. If I do this, how is that going to affect them? If I say this, like, we just consider so much. And when people mess us over, when people do things to us, and we're putting out so much, right? When they do things to us and we know we put out so much, it's hard to come back from that. It's hard to have those people back into our good graces, because that it takes so much energy for us to even be thinking and considering people. Like, people don't understand, like, the mental gymnastics a good-hearted person go through just to make sure somebody else's life is good, just to make sure someone else is happy, just to make sure someone else's, life is easy, right? They don't understand, like, we make it look easy because it's who we are, right? We make it look like it's no problem. We make it look like it's like they say, a cakewalk. We make it look like that because it's who we are. But they don't understand it takes a lot of energy to consider someone's needs. Like, it can be now, but we're thinking about somebody 5 and 10 years out. And they don't understand it takes a lot of energy to do that. Right? It takes a lot of energy. And that's why when someone crosses us in the worst way, it's hard to go back from that, because we have considered everything. We put that person in a place to make sure they're okay. We're thinking about what we have done. Like, we're always being considerate, and that takes a lot of energy. We're always being considerate. But when we are crossed and when we are burned, when we are crossed and when we are burned, it's hard to go back from that. That's why we try to understand. That's why we have conversations with people. That's why we try to be understanding, like, how can we improve, right? How can we improve? That's why we're always going to people. You let me know what I've done. Like, we all, because we want to know if it's something we're doing to people, if it's something we're saying, so we can stop. Because we know we're not perfect, but what we will do is communicate. One thing about me, I'm going to put things I'm going to call it out right down the table. Sometimes it depends on the person. Sometimes you just have to let stuff go, because some people come into your life and they don't have a relationship with you. So they're not going to feel you on a soul level to even understand where you're trying to come from, because their job is to destroy you. Some people come in your life just to destroy you. They're not trying to get to know you on a soul level, on a personal level, to even know who you are. And I had to learn that as a person who got a pure and genuine heart. I had to learn you got people coming to your life that want to destroy you. They don't want to understand. They don't want to consider. They don't want to get to know you. Their job is to destroy you, to cause havoc, to break down relationships, to destroy your children, to destroy your marriages, to just destroy every relationship you have. That's their job. And I had to understand that. And I had to understand and learn that these are the type of people I have to get out of my life immediately, regardless of who they're connected to. Because sometimes we can keep people around only because they're connected to people that we love, right? And they're in our lives too. That's why those relationships get intertwined and entangled, and you don't know how to deal with it. You don't want to cut it off, because as a good-hearted person, you don't want to look like the villain, right? But once you realize and you understand yourself and you do the healing, right? You do the healing. for yourself. And you see, a lot of times we don't take the time to do the healing on our own, because we've been around people for so long, we've been in relationships for so long, we never really got by ourselves to know who we are. That's where it starts. First, you got to know who you are, because a lot of times we know what we'll do and what we won't do, but we really don't know who we are at our core, if that makes sense. We know that we won't cross a person the way other people crossed us. We know we don't intentionally inflict pain on people unless someone does something to us. And someone has to do something so many times, right? They have to do something to us 1,100,000 times for us to finally stand up. And it's not supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to be that way. We need to be able to cut things at the root. But because we don't know who we are, we tend to be more accepting of people's negativity, accepting of people wrongdoing. And I'm not saying that people have to be perfect, but we tend to tolerate more than we should, because we don't know who we are. But when we're on this surface level, when we're on this surface level, we tend to accept things that are not favorable to our spirits, that are not favorable to our energy, right? We tend to accept things that don't make us feel good, and that pulls our energy down. That brings us down on the soul level. But when you finally know who you are, you know how to, I call it matrix. You remember when Neo was pushing back those bullets, stopping those bullets? You know how to push back on that. You know how to address that. You know how to stop it before it comes. You know how to, handle it before it comes. You know how to push back and deal with it. Hey, Tim, you know how to deal with it before it comes, before it affects your energy. Because good-hearted people, sensitive, chosen ones, we feel everything. We feel people's energy. We feel when they don't like us. We feel when they're negative. We feel when they're good-hearted people. We feel when they're jealousy. We feel when they're intimidated. We feel when they don't like our lights, and we know we didn't do. See, before I knew who I was, I used to take all that stuff personal. I used to carry all that stuff. I used to be I used to be conflicted in my spirit, in my energy. But now that I know who I am, now that I had my awakening, I know who I am, I let people keep their stuff. And if I have to call it out on the spot, I will call it out on the spot. And it's not that you're too sensitive, it's that you are anointed and you don't know that. Because, we think anointing comes, we think the anointing got to be imparted to us from a church or from a pastor or from a preacher. No, you're anointed from birth. And we don't understand our gifts, so we walk around conflicted. We walk around confused. But I'm glad I was able to wake up, because I had this since a child. I've been sensitive in my spirit since a child. I knew the aunts who didn't like me. I knew when somebody who was perverted, doing something perverted and trying to hide and do it. I knew all that stuff. And I'm not saying I'm psychic or whatever. I'm just saying that we all have gifts, and I understand my gifts. You got a gift. You just got to get to yourself, get in isolation, and build upon it. You got to be in tune with it. You got to trust your spirit. You got to trust your gut feeling. You got to trust when people coming around and you like it's something about them I don't like. I got to be alert. I don't let anybody come into my energy until I test their spirit. And this is not a week of testing their spirit. This is not and a lot of times I know if people are good-hearted, and I still don't let them come into my energy. I still be cordial with them, but I don't let them come into my energy, because I know my energy is vibranium. Y'all watch that Black Panther movie, which that movie, is another story, but it's vibranium. And I know people are always trying to siphon that. They're always trying to get in and see who I am and see, why, people like to get in and see who you are, why you so different. There's something about you. What is that? No, I understand that now, and I protect that. I got all kind of guards up. I'm all that. No. I'm testing spirits now. I don't care. I see behind the niceness. I don't care if you come in singing my praises. I don't bow to compliments. I don't bow to flattery. You can't bow to flattery. Because people come in singing your praises, but all the while they're trying to get you to let your guard down. And I'm always up. I'm always guarded. And it's not that I'm guarded like I don't trust anyone. No, I'm guarded because I know I got to test the spirit of people. Because one minute people will be singing your praises like they did Jesus, Hosanna, Hosanna. And the next minute they'll be saying, crucify him, crucify her. So I understand. So if I keep my energy guarded, I won't take this personal. I won't take it personal. So when you heal and when you learn how to find out who you are, right? When you learn and find out who you are, you will be able to deal with people easier. You will be able to navigate in the world better and understand that people issues are not your issues. And you won't be taking things personal. Because I used to take a lot of things personal because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know the power that I have. I didn't know my strength. I always felt like everybody outside of me, you know, determined how I felt about myself. Like how they received me affected how I moved and navigated through the world. If they supported me, if they validated me, if they cheered me on. No, now that I understand my power and I know who I am, I understand, no, it's the opposite. It's me validating myself. It's me approving myself. It's me being content in myself and confident in myself. It's me knowing who I am. That determines how the world sees me, not how they see me. So once I healed and once I learned who I am, now I have a better understanding. Now I can control like my energy more, right? I no longer feel bad for rejecting people. I no longer feel bad for noticing, you know, wickedness in people and evil and conniving and sly ways and undermining and jealousy. I no longer allow that to make me feel any type of way because I see people for who they are. You got to understand, you got to believe people, whoever they show you the first time, you got to believe them. You got to believe who people show you the first time, not they show you something and then they come back and be nice. No, you got to make a note, mental note. The first time they were, conniving. The first time they were jealous. The first time, hey baby, the first time they were moving shady. You got to believe them. Yeah, we're going to church. Yeah, I'm going to go take a shower. It's not going to take long. And I already have my outfit. But we got to believe them the first time. And we got to learn how to not allow people and how they move affect how we are. Right? Although you can feel all that, you can't allow that. You can't allow people and how they move affect who you are and how you move. You can't allow people how they move to stop you from being a nice person to other people, to stop you from being good to people who they don't like. Because you got people that want to control, right? You got people that want to control everything, right? You got people want to control. No, you don't give people a chance who your spirit, who already showed you who they are. No, you can be nice and cordial to them, but you don't give them a chance to come into your energy. This is not saying you shut down everybody, but if that's what you're saying, I don't understand what you're saying, Lori. But you don't give people a chance who've shown you who they are the first. But I know I won't. I can't tell you what to do, but I don't give people chances. And I understand. See, when you've experienced enough in life, right? When you've experienced enough in life to know how people are, you test the fruit and you see how they are the first time, right? You see how they are. What they show you the first time is who they are. Period. I've done that. And that left me in a lot of pain and misery because I ignored the red. I ignored them, what they did, how they showed me, what they showed me the first time. I ignored it because I got this good heart. I just want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And I'm thinking everybody like me. Right? That's my alarm, just or yours? Oh, I heard a long. Oh, um, oh, um. But I've learned I don't do that. You know, and that's why you got to get to know yourself so you know what's going to work for you and what's not, right? And I had to do a lot of work, and I'm glad I was able to wake up and do that work on myself so that I can help other people, right? And I'm glad that I no longer allow how people feel about me and what they got going on to dictate me. And it takes a lot to be in your own energy. It takes a lot to not be controlled about, not be controlled. What I was going to say, it takes a lot to not be controlled of, of or by other people's energy and what they got going on. I learned to be quiet when things don't apply to me. I learned to not get in conversations that don't apply to me. Like if somebody having a conversation, if it don't have anything to do with me, I really don't care. I don't have time, and I've learned I don't have time to be wasting my energy on meaningless conversations or conversations that don't matter, conversations that's not going to elevate me spiritually, conversations that's not bringing no energy to me or, elevating me in a spiritual way. Like, I really don't. I used to talk a lot, but I realized when you talk less, that's how you preserve your energy. That's how you keep your good energy. I don't have to comment on everything. I don't have to get into people's conversation. One thing I've learned, when someone is having a conversation, I don't jump in their conversations. I think it's rude anyways. If a person didn't invite me in their conversation, I don't intervene and I don't interrupt in someone else's conversation. I think that's rude. Like if me and you talking and somebody just come on up and just interrupt, oh yeah, blah, blah. That's rude to me. So I don't do that to people. If somebody come in and interrupt the conversation and they start talking, I just move on out the way. I just be quiet and find something else to do or go on and walk off. Like they don't took over the conversation, so I move. I just don't, certain things that I do, and I move how I move because of my experiences, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being who I am. I don't have to explain to people who I am because, sometimes we tend to want to explain to people. You can go ahead and call me hair, son. Oh, let her cry. Oh, you can give her some snacks. Yeah, so I don't understand what you're asking. Yeah, I don't understand what you're asking. What if you are suffering financial hardships and need them? And need who? Need in the green, oh, right over there. And need the people who are mistreating you or I don't know. I don't know what to tell you with that. I don't know what to tell you with that. But I know for me, I would try to put myself in a position to where I don't want to be around people who are snakes, okay? And I understand sometimes you can wake up and realize people are snakes and you can't really get away at that time. But I will try my hardest to get out of that situation and ask God to guide me and show me what I can do that's in me to get myself up out of that. Because I know it's hard, especially when you're codependent on people or you're dependent on them. It's really hard to get out of that. And sometimes people want you to be in that position so they can control you and abuse you and take advantage of you, right? Make you feel and talk more down on you because you need them, right? So just because you're in a financially hardship or a financially hard place don't mean that you don't have any value. Money don't dictate whether or not, or, even having a roof over your head don't really dictate who you are as a person. You don't lose your anointing because you don't have a house or you don't have money or you don't have the material things. You don't lose that, right? That's why people who have more things than those people who are anointed, that's why they're always jealous. A lot of people are jealous of people who don't have a lot of material things, but they are genuine. They are content. They are happy, right? So, that don't dictate a person's anointing or who they are. So, but I got to get ready to go. I had to go jump in the shower because I got to get out and go to church, and I don't want to be late. Which I'm gonna be a little late, but I just had to come share this video. That chosen people get tired too. You know, we make life look easy. We make things look easy because we carry things well. We carry things well. Even when we're going through things, we still have a smile on our face. We still have a good spirit because we've learned to flip, right? We've learned to flip the negativity into something positive. We always see the negative in a positive way. You know, we can be going through the worst situation, but in our mind, we'll tell ourselves, okay, I'm going through this, but this is what I've learned. There's never a loss with a good-hearted person. There are only lessons. And it may take us a while to get the lesson, but when we get the lesson, we're going to change that, right? We're going to change that into something positive. We're going to learn and build upon that. There's never a loss with a good-hearted person. There are only lessons, right? So I'm gonna end with that note. You all be blessed. Let me go. I have to get out of here, but I wanted to come share that message with you all. So also, if you all are looking to do something fun, we are creating gratitude jars. So on Friday coming, the 9th, August 9th, we're going to have a Zoom class where we are displaying or showing off our gratitude jars. So you create your own gratitude jar. There is a video on my that I've done talking about the gratitude jar, and we're going to come in on a Zoom meeting and just share why we created our gratitude jar, the way we created it, and what did we put inside of the jar. I know for me, I'm putting I am affirmations and scriptures in there and things that I've accomplished that will remind me of my greatness, right? So that's what I'm putting in mind, but I'm going to come share with you all along with the people who would like to join, and it's free. It's free to everyone, not just for the paid membership. It is free to everyone. So if you want a more intimate, fun setting, come on in on August the 9th and just display your gratitude jar or basket. So I will talk to you all later.